Back to our final round in this first match of the Final Four, the Mercy Health Final Challenge. All the questions contestants are worth 20 points. That means this game is really a 4-question game as we sit right now. Auburn's on top by 80 points, 230 to 150. Hands on your buzzers. Same rules as round one other than that point change. Here's our first final challenge question. What man who was killed by police at Standing Rock in 1890 had visions that helped inspire the Lakota victory at the Battle of the Little Bighorn? Justin.
Sitting Bull.
That is correct. Fled to Canada after that battle as well. You're first on the board this round. Auburn, 20 more. What city's Piazza dei Miracoli is home to a campanile with a notoriously unstable foundation that is Henry?
Pisa.
That is correct. Campanile is a fancy way to say Italian bell tower. That's where the famous Leaning Tower is. 20 more points for Auburn. What island's Cape Bonavista is the reported landing site of John Cabot during his 1497 expedition to North America? Justin.
Newfoundland.
That is correct. Newfoundland is the island, and you've got 20 more. A charge of positive 2/3 is carried by what first-generation subatomic particle of which a proton has 2 that is the counterpart, Aston?
Quarks.
Need to be more specific?
Up quarks.
That is correct. You had several flavors of quark to choose from. You got that right. The counterpart to the down quark is the up quark, and those are your first points this round, Belvedere. An Antarctic island, sea, and ice shelf are all named after what British explorer? Justin.
Ross.
That is correct. He also discovered Mount Erebus. 20 more points. What philosophical movement emphasizing authenticity included the authors of The Rebel and Being and Nothingness, Albert Camus and Jean-Paul Sartre? Matthew.
Existentialism.
That is correct. That's the philosophical movement. 20 more points for Belvedere. In what novel is a young boy named Jonas tasked with becoming the new receiver of memory? Justin.
The Giver.
That is right, and that's 20 more points. In what year in which Supreme Court Justice Charles Evan Hughes lost the presidency was Woodrow Wilson reelected? Justin.
1920.
Incorrect. I'll finish for Belvedere. Reelected during World War I. Matthew.
1916.
1916 is correct, and that's your 20 points. What law states that the force needed to compress a spring by a distance x? Andy.
Hooke's Law.
That is correct. It's proportional to x, and you've got those 20 points. And that is the end of the round. That long buzzer means time is up. 350 points. Let's Auburn move on. You've earned your chance to defend your title. Congratulations. You will face whoever wins next week's battle between Durand and Morrison. Belvedere, you are not done, though. That's right. You will face whoever does not win that game in a battle for third place in a couple of weeks. Congratulations to Auburn. So we'll see you in 3 weeks, and hopefully we'll see you next week for that Durand versus Morrison game. Thanks for watching. We'll see you then.